Before we talk about the brand belonging framework, which I've been talking all along, it's time to introduce someone who's already a living proof of what it means to build from identity first. Camellia Jade didn't start with a demographic. She started with the conviction that confidence is not a size, a look, or a label. It's a decision. And she built Confidera, an entire movement around that truth. When your brand is built from that level of identity clarity, your customer doesn't just buy from you, they belong to what you've created. That's exactly what we're unpacking today because Camilla Jade is a living proof of what happens when you get the answer right. So let's go. Welcome, Camilla, to the show. Let's dive in. All right, Camilla. I've just introduced you, and obviously, you need no introduction, but I want your hot take on founder led content, which is taking over our feeds right now.
Yeah, I think that this is something that's very important for every business, whether you're a small business or a major business. We're seeing this big shift. One of the trending videos we've seen a lot lately are the fast food CEOs, right? Eating their food and kind of doing this back and forth. But really, what I think is that this isn't anything new. It's just a reinvention of what we've always done because we've always had representatives for brands, right? Kate Moss
Hmm.
debuted with Calvin Klein and Michael Jordan and a whole bunch of those basketball players, right?
Yeah.
They were representing McDonald's and all those commercials back in the day. So we've always had celebrities representing different brands.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just different because we are actually having the CEOs or the people who own the business, the founders, or even just someone from the social media team who closely is very integrated with the brand and with the company. We want to know who we're buying from because we
Mm-hmm.
buy from people, we don't buy from things.
I hear you. I agree with you. But in the same breath, I want to say that what you do and what the kind of I've been seeing you for over, I think, a year, over a year now. All that you've created, you have a clothing line, you are doing an event around with other women, you already are a coach, and all this is centered around body confidence, body positivity. I don't know if
Mhm.
body positivity is somewhere in the same frame, but everything is so identity led. Like it's giving me goosebumps right now. Like it's so
Mhm.
identity led that I know a lot of people now want to jump on the founder led bandwagon, and a lot of it is just, oh yeah, here is my lived experience of X. Like what do I talk about? Okay, I need to talk about my founder led content, so let me just pick this part of my life and start speaking about. But when I see you and what you are creating, I see the engagement that you get on your things that you do. I see the vulnerability that you show up with. I see the hate that you take so amazingly and reply back to it. I don't think everyone who's jumping on the founder led bandwagon right now has an iota of this or what you are doing. And I have so many questions to ask you, and we'll peel the layer, but I really want to take a step back for you and ask you, like, where is this coming from? This strong sense of identity. I know culturally it's also something that has, as an environment, that has, affected it. But I really like, I want to know, where is this coming from? Like, there's such a strong sense of identity. Please tell us.
I will try to keep this as brief as possible. I realized personally that there was just a disconnect in the way that I was showing up in everyday life. So I started working for a clothing boutique and I was doing style sessions with midlife women whose bodies had changed through menopause. And I
Mhm.
was telling them things like, hey, your body is beautiful. You look amazing. Let's dress for the body you have right now. But I realized what I was saying to them and then what I was saying to myself when I went home were two completely different things, right? I would shame myself and say terrible things about myself. And I just felt like I was very misaligned in the way that I was showing up, and something had to change. So I looked to what I was seeing online, which was other women sharing their bodies, and that helped me feel better about my own body, even though they looked completely different. I saw a woman who had struggled with ED. She was overeating, then severely undereating. Now she is happy in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a mom who was struggling with endometriosis who used to be a fitness influencer. So she went from a size 6 to a 16, struggling with an endo belly where it really sticks out and you look like you're permanently pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Other plus size women that were just sharing their bodies online. And even though the bodies looked different from mine, seeing different bodies made me feel more comfortable. And so that was really where I started that series, Your Body's Not the Problem, Your Clothes Are, because I already had a decent following. And I thought, well, maybe I can make a bigger impact with the people who are already following me, like these other women are doing for me. So I didn't invent the wheel. I just recycled something that I saw was working for other people and I put my own spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
From there, everything has really evolved. I realized how deep my own body dysmorphia was when I
Mm-hmm.
would watch these videos back of me in my underwear. I realized that when I looked at myself in the mirror that morning, it was different. And so, to backtrack a little bit, I will say feeling myself in my underwear is part of my series. Your body's not the problem, your clothes are. So, I
Clothes
show
are.
women what it means to truly get dressed and feel confident and to hide all your insecurities and things like that. So, I show my flabby arms, my jiggly thighs, my bloated belly, and how I can put an outfit together that hides all of those things that make me feel self conscious and I feel really confident. So, I want
Yeah.
to put that out there. I'm not just filming myself in my underwear for everyone.
Right.
Um, but when I watched those videos back, I realized I had body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
And so that was what inspired me to have my women's empowerment experiences where I bring women together. And it started just with the PJ and lingerie dance party that I host, the Body Confidence Party, which
Party.
this
Yeah.
is the second year I hosted it. It was sold out. It was amazing to see all of the women from all ends of the spectrum because you come where you are. Some women are
Yeah.
wearing full pajama sets, bathrobes, long tops, silky pants, whatever it is. Then we have some
Yeah.
women that are in their lingerie. They're wearing their nipple tassels and their pasties and their garter belts. But everyone is in the same room celebrating women. And so it's a
Mm.
really wonderful experience. And now my goal is just to take everything that I've learned and help other businesses share their stories online because I think where a lot of businesses get stuck is they feel like I have to post, I have to post, I have to post. And I'm guilty of that. But when we post from a place of, I have to be relevant, we
Mm.
don't actually share our message and we're not connecting with our ideal audience. And so it's just a lot of wasted time and energy that's not serving us. And I want to thank you so much for your compliments, but I will say, even with that, I am doing a deep dive myself into my social media. And I've realized that I still have a lot more to show and a lot deeper to dig. But I would say for anyone who's just getting into this, the first step is you have to be brave and be vulnerable. That's what's going to make the difference.
No, oh my gosh, like it is so beautiful, everything that you are sharing here, because it's not just it's not just about confidence. Like I consider myself a very confident person, right? But this confidence is not about faking it till you make it. Like that's what I feel about the way you show up. Like it's not that, because we understand that if we are not confident people internally, then we gotta fake it. But what the
Mm-hmm.
way you show up, it comes from a place of vulnerability, which requires a different kind of courage to be brave, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not, hey, I'm confident, you become confident too. That's the way we it's not that. It's a deeper level of, I know the struggles, I feel it myself, there's that empathy to it, and then you are doubling down on it with authority, which is your clothing line, the parties, the whole event around it, the way you speak, the way what you do when you speak, all of that stuff. So this is a different level of confidence. This is not just I want to get this following for being bold. If you understand what I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to like say, that I feel it. I feel it so much in my bones when I see you show up that way. And as a brand strategist, I always feel that the best brands don't sell, they host. It's like going to someone's dinner party, because you're invited to it and you feel
Mm-hmm.
invited. The way you show up, the way you carry things, talk to the camera, you're changing and sharing what you're building up. So you built an audience based on this, right? Like I want someone to who's listening to this episode, take a leaf out of your uh of what you're doing as to if I want to build an audience with this lived experience that I have. Like what are few things they start with, and while they are struggling, as you said, that you're also doing this reflection work, you are in this place of also seeing what how deeper can I go with this. This is layer one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to go 10 layers down. So
Mm-hmm.
someone's at layer one right now thinking, how do I do this? Have this such a great sense of identity and then build an audience around it. Like, how do we do it?
So a lot of this is just, I think, the internal work of figuring out what is the message that you're truly sharing. Because what I see with a lot of people is they are selling the what,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what we don't know is the why. Why do we need the what you are providing, the
Okay.
product or the service? So my clothing line, for example, it's not just another dress, it's not just another cardigan, it's not just another top. I will be the first person to say if you are just scrolling online and you see these basic pieces, there's nothing about my clothing line that jumps out at you. There's nothing that says, oh my God, I have to have that. It's not fun patterns, cute silhouettes, funky textures. They're plain, simple clothing pieces. What I've been able to do is show how they look good on a wide array of different body shapes and sizes. I've been able to show how they work for my lifestyle and creating this capsule wardrobe, being able to get dressed quickly. You don't need a
Mm-hmm.
closet full of clothes, you just need a few simple pieces. Talking about the usefulness of these pieces, how they're wrinkle resistant, fade resistant, shrink resistant, right? The colors are very intentional, the silhouettes are very intentional. So I am telling women why they need this thing, not
Mm-hmm.
what the thing actually is, right? And
Okay.
so that's what we want to do is figure out what is the problem that your audience has. So for me, the women that I speak to with my clothing line and the women I speak to with my clothing line are different than the women I speak to with my in-person events.
Mm-hmm.
But the women from my clothing line feel frustrated with their bodies, right? They're probably very busy. They don't have time to work out, go to all these classes, have a super strict diet. Their body
Yeah.
has changed. Midlife women, right? Even if you keep the exact same health routine, your skin changes, your hormones change, all of these things, right? And you're also running your entire life. Some of these women are running businesses. There's
Hmm.
so much going on. So you want something that is easy, you want to take away the stress of getting dressed. You want to feel confident. You don't want to feel self conscious about your body, right?
Yeah.
All of those things that she's thinking. I'm answering those questions for her that she didn't even know she had.
Had. Mm.
And for me, just the longer I've done this, the more I've been able to really dig in, get deep with it. And slowly, with being vulnerable, every time I show up online, I'm getting braver to share even more of my story. And that's what I'm working to do right now. And I would encourage everyone, if you don't know these answers, ask AI. It's a very useful tool.
Yeah.
When you know how to utilize it, it is helping me actually change the way that I show up. Some
Mm-hmm.
of my more recent videos, I have gotten the most amazing comments. They're not going bananas. I'm not getting millions of views on them, but they're connecting with one or two women on such a deep level.
Yeah.
That's what matters. That's what's going to bring you those lifelong fans.
Okay. So, any, all of my female founders listening to this, brand strategy is not exactly selling like out of the gate, right? Like it's not marketing out of the gate. Like I built this product. Now let me see how in the battlefield this is going to work, right? Like I'm in the battlefield. It's all about the sales. It's all about the revenue. Oh, is it
Mhm.
my hobby if I'm not if I'm not making that sales, like if I'm not getting that leads, then this is just a hobby. Let me go back to corporate job. Listen to what Camellia is saying. She's talking about impact, right? Like what the way you show up, and you're saying it's not about the million views. It's the engagement that you've got where you can see that you've spoken to someone's soul. And I get
Mhm.
this pushback so much, so many times when I'm like kind of talking to someone about impact, about purpose-driven, brand strategy, and I get the pushback that that doesn't sell, that that doesn't make money. And I always say
Mhm.
there are a lot of ways to make money, right? Day trading, corporate job, like there's so much. If you're here for the money, there are many ways to do it, and obviously I'm sitting and talking to the wrong person because I am so invested in the fact that somebody, specifically women who create brands, mompreneurs, all of these segment is actually creating good in the world, right? Like
Mhm.
there's people over profit, and then
Mhm.
we have everything where is we are seeing today like so much profit over people, right? So impact has such a important, I think even as a founder you may like wake up with that sense that okay, today I don't feel good, I don't want to do this, but think about the impact I've created with this person saying this person saying this. So with everything that you've done, whether it's events or with your clothing line, how do you make sure every touch point still feels like the same emotional experience, right? Like most founders are thinking brands as visuals, stop, right? Like
Mhm.
there is a level of brand that they don't want to further layer it down, but you have created repeated emotional experience. I think your emotional experience across everything that you're doing is is so like it's amazing. I'm telling you, you my brand's brand marketer's dream. Like you are something that is not seen so easily. Even if I talk about big brands, and I don't want to name them, but they have female founders who are not able to pull this off. So how do you make sure that this emotional experience across things stays consistent? Because yes, there are, I work with women who are pre-launch, and I work with women who are kind of stagnated in their in their sales journey or in their brand journey and business journey, and they come to me. So how do you do that?
I think it's going to vary based on the industry, but most women who start businesses because they saw a need for something that wasn't there,
Mm-hmm.
or they had a struggle that they, had to work through and they wish that someone was there to help them with that struggle.
Yeah.
So you really just have to think about that. And I think for big brands, it's a little bit different. But when you are a small brand, depending on what industry you're in, I would say the more open and the more vulnerable you can be with your story, the more you will connect with people. And for myself, as a body positive, content creator, when I'm having a bad body image day, I will create a video and
Mm-hmm.
say, I'm having a bad body image day. Doesn't mean my body is bad, but I'm feeling self-conscious. Here's what I'm going to wear to make myself feel better, to
Mm-hmm.
hide the insecurities. And then it can completely change the way that you feel about yourself. So, really, I think it all comes from that emotion and being vulnerable and figuring out what your founder story is. That's kind of a buzzword right now,
Mm-hmm.
but if you don't know what your founder story is, it's really just digging in deep and figuring out, why did you create this business? What problem were you trying to solve? Whether it is for the customer or maybe it's for yourself. I know a lot of moms that started businesses because they were stay-at-home moms and they just needed something that was for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the founder story. Even if it has nothing to do with helping your client. I know someone and she has a little bread bakery business. She does a bunch of markets. Her story isn't always about the bread, but it's about being a mom and how she, creates her schedule to be there with her kids. But she'll wake up at 4 a.m. to go bake, come home, spend time with the kids, and then go back at 8 p.m. to finish setting up for the markets and getting everything ready. And so that is the kind of story that's going to bring someone in. It has nothing to do with her actual product.
Product, yeah.
And oftentimes your story won't have anything to do with your product. But it's
Mm-hmm.
a way to bring people in because if they feel invested in you, it doesn't matter what you sell, they are going to buy. So when my um, business shut down that I was working at previously, the clothing boutique, I
Mm-hmm.
was able to shift into my own clothing line And a lot of people that shopped at the boutique then shopped with me because they felt comfortable with me. They felt comfortable with my recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that I would have a quality product for them. And so they followed me.
Hmm.
So one of the best things you can do is build that brand loyalty to yourself because businesses will come and go, goals will come and go. You know, your dreams will change. And if you have that solid following, they will go anywhere and everywhere with you if you give them that good experience and if they trust you.
Right. Um, if anyone's really understanding what Camellia is trying to say here, she's basically saying that your controlling idea, your central idea of why you're doing all of this is needs to be so honest and seeped in so much authenticity that it can be replicated almost anywhere. If it's coming from a place of, oh, she's doing it, let me do it too, you know, that can be a starting point at that's fine. But
Yeah.
build on it, like something
Yeah.
in you said something, it moved you to a certain extent that you wanted to kind of mimic someone. But that's step one. Like, how do you
Mhm.
further now start doing that work so that your brand controlling idea, central idea, is easily replicable everywhere across? And what you also just very said clearly said about your friend who has a bakery, but she talks about her life as in general with her, you know, as being a mom. This is where contextual commerce comes in. This is basically where you contextualize your current life with the commerce that you're in, and how do you bring the two together so that it seems almost seamless. It doesn't
Mhm.
seem pushed. It doesn't seem I'm doing it for the gram. I'm doing it for because I have to. Because Camila, let me tell you, I'm part of so many communities, just like yourself, where I've seen moms literally saying that I have two kids under two and this and that. I'm so overwhelmed, but I'll try and show up for the content day. I'll try and show up for the content that, you know, everyone's doing. Because this is FOMO, right? There's this FOMO that if I don't do this visibility, I'll become irrelevant, right? Like visibility has replaced identity, it has replaced authenticity. Is like post more, feed the algorithm so that you don't become irrelevant. And I mean, we all, life is lifing, right? Life is lifing. We have so many other challenges that's going on, but this FOMO has taken over, as specifically for founders, that if I don't show up, I'm irrelevant. My product is, even if it's great, it's not worth it unless I show up. Social media has become so important in our lives. And I
Mhm.
always, like, because you're so impact driven, I always ask founders, if social media went away today, tomorrow, right? Like all the platforms shut down, something happened, would you still be doing what you're doing? Would you still be creating what you're creating? So I really want to dig into your beautiful brain on that.
Oh my goodness, I haven't even thought about that. But I know that's something that's talked about all the time. So of course that's where the email lists really come in. I think I would just have to shift and I would have to change and I would have to evolve just as everyone did when the internet became a thing,
Yes.
right? And when social media became a selling platform, we had to shift.
Hmm.
So I think that's a really great question. I'm sure I would. I would be shocked and I probably would freak out and I would cry and I would have all of the emotions, but I would just figure it out. I would change just as everyone else would. You switch from online to more in person, again, depending on, you know, what your business is. There's always a way. And I was having a conversation with a friend recently about photography. She's a photographer.
Hmm.
And so there was a hot topic of conversation years ago when there was a big switch from film photography to digital photography.
Okay.
A lot of photographers refused to make that change. They said digital photography isn't real photography. Where are those film photographers now? Not a lot of them are in business unless you request that specific type of photography.
Hmm.
So we have to change, we have to evolve, we have to be open to new ideas. And one thing I do want to point out when you were talking about the need to show up all the time, when you can build a brand and you do it the right way, you don't have to show up all the time. When I'm sick and I'm not posting, in fact, last week, as I was doing a little bit of a reconfiguration with my own brand and my own businesses, and I was digging in even deeper with my own story,
Hmm.
I barely posted all week. I still made sales 5 out of the 7 days. So
Hear
you don't have
that?
to, yeah, you don't have to do it all the time when you build the brand because not everyone sees all of your content at the exact same time. And so
Yes,
it's not a need of, oh my gosh, I have to, guilty of falling into that trap.
same.
Um, but it's just about what do you want to put out there? And there's different types of content. You can do the top of funnel that's going to get you all of the views. That was how I built my large following. Not
Hmm.
going to, hide that. I was sharing fashion tips and style tips, and they went viral. People were hating on the videos. That was how I amassed my large following. But I had a shift. Now I don't have a million people coming to all of my videos, but I'm making a deep impact, which is going to allow me to actually have more opportunities down the road with my current audience. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's kind of what feels good to you. But the one thing I will always drive home is the more vulnerable you are, the more open you are. It's very, very scary, but that's going to be the best thing for your business. And you might feel like you're in therapy a little bit, but
Yeah,
you gotta work through it.
do it.
And like I said, for me, AI has actually been really helpful in helping me analyze my social media, my
Hmm.
messaging, my businesses, and really helping to bring everything together because I'm a solopreneur less than 1 year into my own business. So I am really cobblestoning it along.
Like so many of us, right? Like there's so many
Mhm.
people in different seasons of business, whether they're launching, whether they've, launched and figuring it out, or growing great but don't know how to scale it from a certain point. So we all have different seasons of businesses, and we need different mindsets to go through it, and
Mhm.
that work is really very, I always say business, creating a business or being a female founder is like being in self therapy all the time, right? Like how much time I
Mhm.
have to literally sit down and be my own therapist in this situation. And I have like this Indian scripture that I really refer to. It's called Bhagavad Gita. It's like it's my go-to when I'm like really wanting to sit down with myself and explain it to myself that this too shall pass. And I'm having imposter syndrome today. I'm feeling all of this. So
Yeah.
yeah, I honestly want to, I know we run after time, but I really want to thank you. I think that there's so much more I can ask you. And this will go endless because I am such a huge admirer of what you're doing, what you're creating. You are like walking the walk, talking the talk, and not something that is just for the sake of it. It feels so real, and I want to congratulate you for whatever you're creating. I hope that you create more and inspire 10x women that you are already inspiring right now.
Thank you. Well, it sounds like maybe we need a part 2 interview.
Yes, I really do. I know because I do short interviews because I know I have my moms doing school drop-offs and listening to this podcast, and I always tell them, I always even share like, while you're doing your dishwasher, loading your dishwasher or folding your laundry, this is where I want you to listen in because we are all struggling with time management all the time. So I really think that I really am going to call you in for part two, and I really hope you come.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.